Hello everyone, you're watching Sightline on MNB World. Today's guest is Ms. Anu-Ujin Lkhagvasuren, Urban Governance Specialist and the Director of the Institute of Development Policy Planning. So thank you very much for coming here, Anu-Ujin.
It's my privilege to be invited here. Thank you.
So it's a great honor to have you here in our studio too. And as I previously mentioned, you are an Urban Governance Specialist. And you have the Masters of Advanced Studies degrees from the prestigious Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, Lausanne. So you're definitely one of the few people who can give me the best answer to this question, which is how do you define governance and what makes it good urban governance?
Okay, first let's try to define the governance, the term governance itself. It is more about management. It's about the system managing itself sustainably, working on its own. So when we hear the word government, we think about the power, we think about the people like parliamentary members, prime ministers, or the president, or there has to be someone to lead the system in case of the government. In case of a governance, it's about law, it's about policy, it's about strategy, it's about decision-making process itself. So the urban governance is more about urban policies, urban development plan, urban financing for the infrastructure. And as you said, good urban governance is more about the policies are involving all kind of stakeholders, all kind of decision makers, let's say the private entities, businesses, citizen participations. It has to be inclusive of everything. In that case, we can satisfy everyone's need.
Okay, so now I want to talk about the urban issues. So we're facing lots of urban issues such as traffic jam, air, soil, water pollution, and many more. And people say that it's because the number of the people, and some people say it's designed for, the Ulaanbaatar city is designed for 500 to 800,000 residents. And now that we have over 1.4 million people, that's why we're having like these issues. Do you agree with this idea that that's the cause of these issues?
No. Yeah. Okay, let's think about San Francisco, which has about 3 million residents, right? In case of Istanbul, it has like 18 million residents. So we have only 1.4 million. So it's not the problem yet. First, it was designed for 0.5 million people. And then every 5 or every 10 years, we were supposed to update it. We were supposed to redesign it. We were supposed to have new urban planning for the growing number of the people, which means the current main issue is unplanned urbanization.
So my question is, if we like renewing this policy strategies and making it like suitable for the current matter, and can we hold like millions and millions citizens? Or like some people say that, no, we can't do that. We can't make the UB city just like one hot spot that everybody like seem to want to live in. So we need to like other like cities that have got that are just like as important as UB city.
Well, when we talk about a city, I'd like to take it as an example of human body. So it's like if the child is, let's say, around 10 years old, we know that it's going to grow, it's going to become
much bigger.
Yeah, bigger and taller. So we don't buy them permanent clothes, right? They're going to wear those clothes or shoes for 1 year only. And then we buy a new one. Just like that, we can accommodate, let's say, 3 million. If we are planning 3 million, planning the urban planning for 3 million. So it's about how we can design, how we can plan, how we can manage. If we're going to divide a city, or if we're going to have another city, which is a very good option, because one of the issues that Mongolia faces is that we don't have another cities that can accommodate our
that many people.
many people, or that can accommodate another needs of yes. We actually don't have to live in Ulaanbaatar city, right? We can live in another place. We can live in Hufskul province. We can live in Ost province. We can live in Darkhan. We can live in if we want to, but we're actually limited by our options. So we have to provide other options. We have to develop other cities. In that case, we're dividing responsibilities to other cities. Cities can earn their money. Cities can develop themselves. And then if we have another cities and options, let's see where the people will go, right? We can divide the migration to Ulaanbaatar city to other cities. In that case, we're decreasing urbanizations. And after that, we can solve our problems.
So Ulaanbaatar is actually a rather young city, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that could be an advantage because we can follow the other cities' examples. So can you name some of the ways that the other cities have found solutions to the same problems that we have now in Ulaanbaatar?
Yeah, problems, we're not talking about specific problems, right? So I think it's, again, urbanization. So in that case, we can think of Istanbul, which is more like a Ulaanbaatar city in case of its GDP. Istanbul also earns these more than 60% of GDP of
the country.
Yeah, the country, whole nation.
Just like Ulaanbaatar does.
Yeah, like that. So we can think about other cities who are capital city and also
Not
like
capital city.
major city, right? We can learn from them. In Barcelona, I think I forgot the year, but it was around some 80 to 100 years ago. Barcelona was industrial city, and it has this big river that goes through the city called Bizos. And during that industrial era, the Barcelona had all kind of pollution: air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution. And then Bezos River was on the edge of the extinct. It was going dry, and they had a problem of water scarcity. And then they decided to move out the industrial factories and then buildings and everything, infrastructures out of the city. They did it, and just in 30 years, city has become totally new. Even that soil pollution, even that water pollution, even that river started streaming healthily.
So how did they do that? Did the government force the people to move out of the city?
It was just about the zoning regulation. They just made a land management with the zoning regulation. So it looks like environmental problem has been solved, but economical, public health, and even that public psychology, everything has changed since then. Now that the Barcelona is most famous tourism destination, if you go through the main street, then you're gonna see all races of the people just walking and then enjoying the vibe of the city itself. So we can do that to our city, like even that the Tol River is also has a water scarcity problem. It has also water pollution. We have soil pollution all around our outskirts of the city, something like that. So these problems are very small, and they are already solved in a bigger size, bigger scale.
So when people are following those cities examples, I think we can also like make mistakes if we don't do the research, the studies enough. So we remember the sky cable cars that Ulaanbaatar was supposed to be building, and I think that was not a very good solution to the traffic jam. And I remember that you're saying that doesn't solve the problem. And just because Dubai is doing that, we can't do that. So what are the things that we need to consider before following other cities examples?
Let's take a very simple and then bit a funny example.
Okay.
If we go to Milan or from Paris, we're watching a fashion show. We don't directly buy the dress the model is wearing, right? We have to consider if it's wearable, if it's my size, where I'm going to wear, if I can afford it, more importantly, and it is gonna suit me.
Yeah.
That's more important, right?
And I'll be
we can
happy
just
in it.
go with the trend that some rich woman is buying something. This issue is just like that. Dubai has lots of money, and Dubai's main theme is they work more on the marketing side. So they try to look very fancy city.
And they attract tourists to get money.
They attract tourists and they get money in that case. Because they have done all other projects that we haven't done yet. So they can spend spree. They can develop in a luxury way, right? So in that case, are we in that situation economically, right? We have so many problems. Like 1/3 of the people is living in Gir area, and they don't even have that. What are the basic infrastructure? They don't even have access to basic infrastructure. They don't even have water in their home. They don't even have that proper toilet in their home.
Okay, so why are people trying to build lots of buildings in the city center or in the suburbs of Daesung, but why do we keep just ignoring the other outskirts, the parts that already really need the infrastructure?
It's just like traffic. In case of traffic, also 1/3 of the people who live in Ulaanbaatar city has a private car. And then most of our development goes to
The
roads. It's not a city for cars, right?
Yeah.
Just like that, people, when they get one option and then let's say they have one step on the stairs, their voice become more loud. And people who are living in those poor urban areas at the outskirts of the city, they didn't have that voice. They don't have that voice still.
So how can we encourage to improve their participation?
Again, it comes down to governance. So if we want to do a really good policy, if you want to do really good planning, and then if we want to reach every one of single citizen who are living in Ulaanbaatar city, then there has to be a citizen participation. We have to improve the participation of the people who are living everywhere in Ulaanbaatar city. They have to tell what they want, how they want to live, and what is the quality of living for them. So we don't have exact survey, we don't have their voices, we're not even reaching out to them. And then we're just spending whatever we like.
Whatever the rich people want.
Yeah, so
Maybe
that's
the powerful people.
Again, now if we go back to the first question, the very first question you asked, the good urban governance is, now I have the term. It's more about citizen participation and their understanding, and they're also having their effort on their policies in the way they are living.
Okay, so I want to talk about the economy part. So you said that Dubai is already rich country, so we can't copy those those ways of development, of course. And so in order to improve Ulaanbaatar, what should we do? Should we wait for the economy of the country to get better to make big changes, or shall we make small changes that would lead to the economical development?
It's not exactly that we can't just copy from Dubai because it's rich. We have to understand why they are doing, because we usually copy the result, right? Like, because they already built this and then we can build it, right? Which is wrong. If they have any solution to any problem, then we can learn the mechanism of solving those problems, right? Just like that, what we can learn from the developing cities, we got to have our own income system. It's like cities are becoming more independent and then they are growing. Actually, most of the people globally go into the cities, and then by 2050 it was like 70% of the global population going to live in urban areas, right? So we have to have income for providing quality of life for those people. The cities should have their own theme, their own purpose. Like Irtint was more of a mining city, right? It's based on mining. And Dahng is more about industry, some heavy and light industry. There should be a reason for people to live there, and there should be income, or in any case, as a smaller, there should be a reason to find the food for you. So we can develop our cities thinking where the food is, where the money is, and where the people already there. We can develop those areas, and then we gotta think about how those people are gonna live there, and then what kind of work they're going to do, and then how they're going to find money, something like that. It's a urban economy part. So in case of Ulaanbaatar city, we have Ulaanbaatar provides like 65% of the gross domestic product of national economy, right? Then now we got to define what Ulaanbaatar city is, and then how it can improve itself, how it can find a budget, finance itself. We can think about making it more tourism city. If there's a resource, then we have to have a city tax, we have to have tourism tax, something like that.
We need to find the purpose of Ulaanbaatar city, and also we need to let Ulaanbaatar, not only Ulaanbaatar, the cities get more independent so that they can get developed.
Yeah, sustainably finance itself and can grow, develop itself.
So our time is coming to an end, so I've got this last question. If you were the mayor of UB City, what would you do first?
Citizen participation platform.
You would improve the citizen participation.
Yeah, there's this platforms already established around the globally.
Is it digital?
Yeah, it's like e-governance system in South Korea. Then it comes down to e-Seoul, that City Hall directs what people want. They're already, the citizens of the Seoul city provides what they want on the website. They're already registered by their registration numbers, social security numbers, and then they will tell what they want. They even talk about the routine of the buses, public buses. They even talk about the seat in the bus. They even talk about the parking, and if those issues have more likes or more interest, right?
They're going to
then
take
it
action.
goes up, and then that the city hall should solve those top 10 issues in 1 month, something like that.
Okay, so Anu-Ujin, thank you very much for coming here to talk about the good urban governance.
Thank you so much for inviting me here, and it was so nice to talk with you, and also haven't had a conversation in English for a long time, so it was also nice and challenging.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you very much for watching MNB World Sightline interview. Today we talked about the ways to ensure the urban governance and also to improve the civic participation.